Well, hi everybody out there in digital land, and YouTube and Facebook and Instagram land. I wanted to do a little vlog here about my journey with spondylolisthesis. That's a big word, and if you're viewing this video, you probably already know what it is, but it's basically when your vertebrae, your spine, starts slipping and it's no longer straight or stable. And there's a lot of other conditions that end up happening if you do have spondylolisthesis and you're symptomatic. A lot of people have it and they're asymptomatic for a long time, and I've had it for over 10 years that I know of, and I was asymptomatic for a long time. I had a little bit of back pain, but I was always an athlete, always very, very active. So a little bit of pain in your body is typical for a high-level athlete especially. And never really knew that I had anything that was really wrong with my back or my spine. And then about 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with spondylolisthesis. I went into the doctor after not being able to walk one evening. I tried to get up off of my couch. My legs were numb. Went up to the bed, took Flexerol and some Motrin, and went to sleep. The next day, my back was still pretty bad. Went to the doctor. He ordered an x-ray, and then he called me at work and said, "Hey, I need to talk to you." Went to his office, and he says, "You have a broken spine. I don't know what to do, but I'm going to refer you over to orthopedic and have him or her talk to you about what the outcome is for this broken spine condition that you have, which is spondylolisthesis." So that, like I said, that was about 10 years ago, and I've lived with it. Relatively an active life. Didn't really start being extremely symptomatic until about 3 years ago, and it's just progressively gotten worse. So I've gone from a grade 2 spondylolisthesis, which is about a halfway slip, to a grade 3 within 2 years, and I can tell my body is reacting to that, and things are not okay. So I decided I'm going to go on and have a surgery for it. The surgery that they do for spondylolisthesis is a spinal fusion. So I went to see a few doctors out here in Greece, and I'll get to why I'm in Greece in just a sec. But I went to see a few doctors and found a very, very good doctor that I trust, him and his team. And they recommended having a 2-level fusion. So they're going to fuse my L4 and, well, my L4, L5, and L5-S1. L4, L5, and the rest of my spine, it is actually perfect. It's picture perfect. It's like I'm 20 still, and I'm almost 45. I'll be 45 in a week. But they wanted the extra support since I'm still wanting to be pretty athletic, and I lead a pretty, or used to lead a pretty active life, and I want to lead an extremely active life after the fusion. So they recommended a 2-level fusion. That's what they're going to do, and it's going to be exactly 2 weeks from today. So March 7th, 2019 is when I'm going to have my fusion here in Greece. So a little bit of why I'm in Greece. I actually retired out of the Air Force after 24 years, and I also owned several martial arts schools. I've taught martial arts for years. I've competed in martial arts for decades, since I was 14 actually, and I've been teaching since I was about 19, and I've competed ever since then, and absolutely loved it. But I had to stop teaching and had to stop competing because of my back, and that's been the greatest struggle. So I was able to finish out 24 years and retire out of the Air Force, and my wife is Greek. I met her when I was stationed here in Greece, And I said, you know what, I'm going to move to Greece after I retire. So that was it. We moved to Greece. We've been here for a little over 2 years now and absolutely love it. I'm living the dream here. If it wasn't for my back, it would be absolutely perfect. I have the money. I have the resources. We have a personal training studio here. My wife used to own a gym here before we met and left. So we picked right back up when we came back here, and it's absolutely amazing being here. So I love it. So my plan was to retire from the Air Force and write a book about my life. I grew up in the hood. I grew up gang banging and selling drugs and doing all kinds of bad stuff. And I was able to turn that around. I grew up in Los Angeles in California, and I was able to turn that around by myself almost. My mom died when I was 13. I was basically in and out of juvenile hall and foster homes until I was 18 and got kicked out of the system, is what they call it. And I was able to join the Air Force. And through the Air Force and a guardian ad litem named Ron Barnick, and my martial arts instructor, my first martial arts instructor named Otto Johnson, who has passed away unfortunately. Through those three avenues, I was able to actually make a lot for myself and be able to contribute and give back to society. I've had mentoring programs for at-risk youth. I've been on the board of directors as the vice president for a nonprofit that helped at-risk youth transition out of juvenile hall or foster homes or group homes, boys' homes, into society and give them jobs and tools to draw upon as they become adults. Because once you transition out of juvenile hall or foster homes or group homes in the United States, they basically give you nothing. You're out on your own. So I was going to write a book after I retired, but unfortunately my spine condition, my spondylolisthesis, and all the associated problems and pain just really kept me from finishing my book. So I started writing. I got about 100 and some odd pages, and then my pain and condition just got to the point where I couldn't concentrate and focus on the book when I sat down to write, so I had to stop. And I'm really looking forward to the surgery in a couple weeks. It's a big surgery. It's kind of scary, but when you hit the point where you have no alternative but surgery and the hope that it will give you your life back, once you make that decision, that's it. So there's no real fear of the surgery, because what your life is before the surgery, it's not very fun. I can't walk more than 15-20 minutes. Sitting hurts, more than 20 minutes of sitting, I'm hurting so bad I got to stretch or get up. And then although I have a great circle of friends, an amazing circle of friends, it's slightly awkward sometimes when I'm out, everyone's standing up with a drink, at a bar or a club, and I'm the one who has to have a chair. I have to sit down. I have to leave. I leave often, very often, just in the middle of the evening, because I'm just done. The pain is so unbearable, even with medication, even with tramadol is what I take. And I try not to take it a lot. I try to do a lot of self-healing. I meditate, and CBD oil is great. But sometimes I have to take a tramadol to try to get through the day, to be somewhat active. So I wanted to start a vlog about my experience, and I wanted to start it before I have surgery, so everyone gets to see how I am before, how my life was, and the things, the struggles, and where I came from, as well as weekly updates after. It's going to be difficult, I know. I've seen a lot of vlogs. I've talked to a lot of people on different Facebook sites that have this condition or other back conditions that have led them to have spinal fusion, and I know it's difficult after fusion surgery, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm very, very much looking forward to it. So I appreciate everybody that's watching. I hope to be an inspiration. I hope to be a little bit of a relief, a little bit of, a 10-minute vlog thereabouts that's able to help you take your mind off of what you're going through and possibly help you make a decision for or against surgery in the future. I don't know how the outcome is going to be. Statistically, not everyone is okay and out of pain and leading a great life after fusion surgery, and depends on what statistic you look at and who did the study and what their desired outcome from the study is. But anywhere between 80% and 90% of people have a successful fusion. But the term successful is very subjective. My definition of a successful fusion is if I can get back to teaching martial arts, not competing on a high level, but okay. If I can teach, if I can still take trips, if I can sit on an airplane for 10 hours when I want to go to Mexico or back to the States to visit my daughter or my son or my granddaughter, things like that mean a successful surgery to me. So I wanted to keep these at about 10 minutes. We're at about 11 minutes now, so I appreciate you guys watching. I hope to be a source of inspiration again to anyone that's going through this. And I'll see you in digital land soon. 1 week, every week I'll post an update. Take care.